So what if you could get all the power of a full-on gaming desktop, but in a little box you could just toss in your backpack? Well, today, we're looking at a device that promises to do exactly that. For the longest time in the world of PCs, there's been this fundamental trade-off. It's always been a choice, right? You could have absolutely incredible performance, or you could have a small, convenient computer. But getting both at the same time? Yeah, that was pretty much a pipe dream. I mean, if you wanted a mini PC, you were basically accepting that it was just for browsing the web and not much else. Serious gaming? No way. And if you needed that real power, you were stuck with a giant tower under your desk or a heavy laptop that sounded like a jet engine. It just felt like there was this hard limit, a glass ceiling for what tiny PCs could do. But what if that ceiling has finally been shattered? The GMKTec Evo X2 is a machine that's trying to completely redefine what we should expect from a small computer. So let's take a look at what's under the hood. The real secret to the Evo X2's power isn't some massive graphics card that they've somehow shoehorned into a tiny box. Nope, it's all about the processor. And this isn't just any chip. It's one of the most powerful mobile processors out there today. And it's doing all the heavy lifting for both the number crunching and the graphics. So how is that even possible? Well, it's thanks to something called an APU, or an accelerated processing unit. The best way to think of it is like having the computer's brain, the CPU, and its visual artist, the GPU, living together on one tiny little piece of silicon. And that integration is precisely what lets a device this small punch so far above its weight. And the amount of horsepower they've packed into this specific APU is just astounding. We're talking 16 cores and 32 threads, which is incredible for multitasking. It's got a boost speed of over 5 gigahertz and a brand new integrated GPU built on AMD's very latest architecture. Oh, and it has a dedicated little engine just for handling AI tasks. This thing is an absolute beast. Okay, specs on a slide are one thing, but what does all that power actually mean when you're using it? Let's take a look at how the Evo X2 really performs when you push it to its limits, with gaming, AI, and some heavy-duty work. And this is really the million-dollar question, isn't it? The claim is that this little machine can compete with mid-range desktop graphics cards like the NVIDIA RTX 4060. Now, that's a really bold claim for a computer that doesn't even have a separate graphics card. Let's see if the numbers actually back it up. And wow, this chart just says it all. In a synthetic benchmark like 3D Mark times by, the Evo X2 scores over 11,000. Now, just look at that compared to a typical mini PC. It's not even in the same league. And what's really crazy is that its score is right up there with dedicated desktop GPUs in the RTX 4060 class. That's just wild. But hey, benchmarks aren't everything. How about actual games? Well, at a nice, crisp 1440p resolution, it's the same story. With a little bit of help from AMD's FSR technology, you can run really demanding games like Cyberpunk 2077 and Spider-Man 2 with high frame rates and super smooth gameplay. This isn't just playable, this is a high-quality gaming experience from a PC you can hold in one hand. And this thing is not just a gaming machine. That powerful APU, with its dedicated AI engine, is built for all the new AI workloads. It can seriously speed up tasks like video rendering or working with large language models. For just day-to-day productivity, it's honestly overkill. You can be rendering a 1440p video in the background and not even feel a slowdown while you work. Now, I know it might be sounding like the perfect PC, but all of this cutting-edge technology packed into such a tiny space, well, it comes with a couple of very important trade-offs. First and foremost, putting this level of innovation on your desk is not going to be cheap. That super advanced AMD processor at its heart drives the price way up, putting this thing firmly into the premium category. This starting price for the base model is $1,499. Let that sink in. That's a serious investment, especially for a mini PC. And if you want to max out the specs with more RAM and more storage, that price climbs really quickly, topping out at nearly $2,000. You're definitely paying a premium for both the performance and for that portability. And here is the other major catch. The RAM is soldered directly onto the motherboard. What does that mean for you? Well, it means whatever amount of memory you buy on day one is what you're stuck with forever. You cannot upgrade it down the line, which is a really big thing to consider if you care about future-proofing. So with all of that in mind, the incredible power on one side and the pretty big compromises on the other, how do you know if the Evo X2 is the right choice? Look, this machine is an absolute dream come true for a very specific type of person. If you're a gamer who's short on space, or maybe an AI developer or content creator who needs portable power, this is for you. If you just value having cutting-edge tech in a compact design, or you need a main PC you can easily move around, this is absolutely for you. However, you should probably think twice if you're on a tight budget, because you can build a more powerful traditional desktop for less. If you love to tinker and upgrade your components over time, that soldered RAM is a total deal breaker. And if your work or your gaming demands more power than an RTX 4060 can give you, you're still gonna need a bigger rig. The Evo X2 really proves that the old compromise between size and power is starting to disappear. And so it leaves us with this really fascinating question. As these tiny, incredibly powerful machines become more and more common, what does that mean for the big, bulky desktop tower that we all know? Is its time finally coming to an end?